Thanks for joining today's snapshot for October 14th for the people of Dr. Martin Luther Church and other friends who watch these snapshots. I want to talk about an event that was noted yesterday. 30 years ago, a group of Chilean miners, 33 of them, were trapped underground when a huge rock blocked their passage out. Well, for 17 days, they hid in a little rescue hall in the middle of this mountain. And finally, a drill found them after 17 days. And during those 17 days, the whole world was wondering if they were going to die, suffering down there from a lack of food and water. They themselves developed a sense of camaraderie and worship and established a pattern for what they would do when they started to pass away. Would they commit suicide? Would they eat each other in cannibalism to keep some people alive? Well, after the 17 days of being in this rescue chamber, a drill found them and they sent out a message that they were all alive and were all reasonably well, though they had very little food and water stored in this rescue chamber. Well, a lot of food and water and medicine and notes were sent down, as well as a video camera. And finally, after 52 more days, they were finally rescued. And the last one got out yesterday, 30 years ago, yesterday. There's a great book called Trapped, How the World Responded to these miners and their situation. And indeed, they were honored around the world, in England, Israel, Disneyland. They were feted and given expense-paid trips to these locations. Well, they also went to Jerusalem. And there, believe it or not, my wife and I and a couple of others saw the Chilean miners who were following the Stations of the Cross, an amazing event in the middle of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The most amazing part was at the end. The 14th station of the Stations of the Cross is the actual tomb itself. It's a tiny little tomb that you have to duck walk to get in. It's very dark. And the amazing thing was these miners who had not been entombed or enclosed by anything since they were in this terrible mining accident were crawling in and coming out in tears as the story of the resurrection and light coming out of darkness had an even greater impact on them. It was an emotional scene for all people who were there to witness that. Well, let's conclude with this wonderful hymn by John Yelvisacker, who wrote Morning Cry. It's very appropriate. People who walk in darkness have sought a light in the heart of the darkest night. Just when we thought all would be lost, we were drawn to the light of God. Dawn is in sight, gone is the night, drawn to the light in the morning. Glorious and bright, oh, what a sight to be drawn to the light of God. Amen to that. And I'm sure on this 30th anniversary, the miners are saying that as well.